All right, Krishna, everyone, this is acyuta-bhava from Nightlight Astrology, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about what is a guru. I received a really good question from a viewer recently asking if I would talk about this subject, and they asked if I would break it down into its simplest terms. What is a guru? Why do you need one? And is it true that um, the real guru is within, that you don't really need a guru, that you should just trust the guru in your own heart? These are really good questions. So this video is going to be brief, but hopefully it'll give you some good things to think about. And I'm speaking now only from my understanding of the Bhakti yoga tradition, of course, specifically. And there's variations too on this. And obviously there's a huge amount that could be said. There's a really beautiful book that I love called Sri Guru and His Grace by B.R. Sridhar Maharaj. And you probably find it on Amazon. I don't have a copy of it right now to show you, but it's one of my favorite books on the meaning of guru in Bhakti Yoga. Actually, I'll see if I can pull it up here. Okay, I was able to find it pretty quickly on Amazon. Here it's called Sri Guru and His Grace, A Guide to Understanding the Genuine Spiritual Master by Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar, or B.R. Sridhar Maharaj. It's one of my favorites. And it would certainly be a place if you wanted to go real deep into the spiritual connection between an aspiring devotee and the guru. But the simple explanation is this. A guru, there are multiple types of gurus, and in a sense, anyone and everything is our guru. So let's differentiate that a little bit. Anything and everything can be our guru insofar as God can use anything in the world, in nature, around us, in our home, in our families, in our friendships, at our jobs, in the workplace. Anyone can become a conduit through which God draws us closer into loving union. And so, in one sense, anything can be a guru. There's a famous passage in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is sort of one of the central texts of Bhakti Yoga. And it talks about a man who he's explaining how he learned all different aspects of being devoted to God from different animals that he observed in nature, and how those animals became his gurus according to what they showed him. For example, learning from the honeybees how to extract the beautiful sweet essence from things, and to focus on the sweetness in others and the sweetness in the world as an emanation of God, as opposed to, focusing on negativity. So the bees are his guru. There's the python, who waits for food to come to it as opposed to going out and actively hunting. And so this lesson about trusting that things will come to you and being careful not to be extra ambitious. So anything in nature can speak to us as a guru, in a sense. Anybody. That doesn't mean they are the guru or our guru, but it can mean that they play that role. Anyone that acts as a messenger for the representation of divine knowledge, and anything that can bring us closer to God, is a kind of manifestation of the guru, as far as I've understood it from what my teachers have taught me. Then there are different kinds of human gurus, and in Bhakti there are many of them. There is a particular type of guru who basically just introduces you to Bhakti Yoga. The first person in my life who introduced me to Bhakti Yoga, still one of my teachers today, but there's a special role that someone plays when they become they're basically the first person you've ever heard about Bhakti from, that kind of turns the light switch on. And that's thought of as a particular type of guru. And they don't have to be aware of that or carrying some kind of title. It's not like a stripe that you get on your uniform or something like that. It's just, and I do that for a lot of people. Like, I don't take I'm taking anything for myself in that. It's just, if you introduce other people to Bhakti and you're on that path, then there's the role of introducing people is a form of guru. Also, people who act as regular instructors or mentors on the path of Bhakti, who are simply farther along than us, that we don't have any necessarily formal relationship where I take vows or anything like that. Those are called shiksha gurus, instructing gurus. And there may be some of those gurus in particular who help you to understand the Shastras. They help you to understand the Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavad Purana. They help you to understand the philosophy of yoga and of bhakti in particular. So instructing gurus are people who philosophically help you to understand things and who teach and also who act as mentors or guides, but often in a kind of supplemental way to one's primary Diksha guru. A Diksha guru is the one who gives you the vows, who you receive initiation from. And oftentimes the Diksha guru is, the most important, though not always. There's many examples in the history of Bhakti Yoga where the initiating guru, although they play a very important role, may not be as important as several of the mentors that you have, or one particular mentor who is an instructing guru. But the point is, in that all of these roles, the guru is there to serve as the external manifestation of what is sometimes also referred to as the Paramatma, which is the presence of God in the heart. And the presence of God in the heart of each individual being, as well as in the heart of every atom of existence. When we start to awaken our original Krishna consciousness, our original divine nature, and we do that through mantra, we do that through studying Shastra, through worship, through associating with people who love God. And that's not just within the Bhakti tradition, that's anyone who loves God, anyone who makes God a priority in their life. That when you start creating a lifestyle that's about cultivating love of God, the presence of God in the heart it's always there, but we start to become aware of it as a guiding voice. Sometimes I just think of it as the voice of conscience. You start to get that inner prompting from within saying, do this, or don't forget that, or that was a little off. Let's come back to center. That little guiding voice inside, the Paramatma, well, it's not the ultimate goal of yoga, that Paramatma, because our ultimate goal is to actually enter into personal relationship with the divine person of God. But the plenary portion that exists in the heart as our guiding GPS to actually coming to know God as a being other than ourselves, the dwelling of God in our heart, excuse me, becomes like a part of the GPS guiding us toward that relationship. And the guru, as I've understood it, and my teachers have explained it to me, any of those gurus will serve as an external manifestation of that internal guidance. In a sense, it's like saying you're going to be an external manifestation of the guidance of God in my life, and you're going to help awaken from within my heart the internal guidance that I have. So sometimes we think that, I hear a lot of people say that they believe that having a guru, or having gurus plural in this case, as I'm talking about, would sort of negate listening to yourself or having your own internal guru. And actually, that's not the case. If we choose our gurus wisely, from people within the tradition who have been practicing for a long time, who, are steady in their practice, who practice what they preach, who walk their talk, and they don't have to be perfect at all. They just have to be people who are, maybe a little farther along than we are, have learned lessons that we have yet to learn, and, they're veterans. Those presences in our life, those people, whether it's a real formal relationship as an initiating guru, or it's a maybe slightly more casual type of relationship, but any of those people in our life, what they're doing is they're helping us to awaken and tune into the voice of Paramatma, the internal guru in the heart. As that voice awakens, it guides us closer to our divine relationship with God, with Source. So the guru's job is to be a representative of the Paramatma and help us awaken it within us. But we need that help. Most of us aren't in a place where we can say, yeah, I don't need a guru. I've got Paramatma within. The only types of people that we would say tend to say that are going to be people who have issues with pride and have issues surrendering to receiving guidance from mentors and from people who are farther along. Of course, a good guru isn't going to tell you what to do. They're going to sometimes they'll give you orders or instructions, do this service, or could you help me with this, or something like that, or give you advice if you're asking for it. But the role of a guru isn't to replace the development of your own critical thinking and the development of your own internal guidance system that's ultimately between you and God. But one of the reasons we worship the guru in the bhakti tradition is because we're worshiping the role that they're playing. They're playing the role of messenger for Paramatma. They're playing the role of external manifestation of the internal God in our heart. That doesn't mean that they are God. It means that we think of them as good as God because the role they're playing in our lives right now is the role of teacher, guide, mentor, representative, like the mailman who's delivering the messages from God. And that's not something that happens just because we sit down and listen to them preach a bunch about the philosophy. It's something that happens because of how we watch how they live and the kinds of choices that they make. And then often it's that, as well as the way that they help us understand things. But we revere them in that position because we want to protect and sanctify that role in our life, because that role is so crucial to helping amplify the voice of God within our own heart. That's part of how we walk the journey home. So they're not pitted against one another, external guru, internal guru. We treat the guru as though they're playing the part of God's representative for the cultivation of that guru within our heart, for the cultivation of God's guidance in our heart. And good gurus sometimes do fall down. There's we're all human, right? And the guru there are some gurus who might be very pure and perhaps on another level, but gurus are also human beings. And so a lot of it also boils down to not putting our guru on a pedestal. We love our guru. We celebrate our gurus as that representation and put their picture on our altar, offer flowers, candles, incense. You revere them and you offer service to them as well. One of the things that I help my guru with is editing some of his writing, his books, just a little bit. But rendering service to your teachers and to your guru, it's a way of sanctifying that role in our lives. And through that protection and sanctification of that role, the internal guidance within is amplified as well. So it's a dance really between the internal and the external. So that's as far as I've understood it thus far. If any of my devotee friends, people who are farther along than I am, are watching and would like to add anything into the comment section that I may have missed or anything needs correcting, please do so. And thank you for the really great question. I hope it was helpful. I think this is a good question to follow up with too. So if you have any more questions about this topic, please feel free to, there's a lot more that could be said about the topic, obviously. So feel free to email if you have more questions, info@nightlightastrology.com. Put Bhakti question in the subject line. All right, that's what I've got for you guys. Hare Krishna.